Good evening, friends. Welcome to episode number 7 of Jmac Plays Hadean Lands, a text adventure computer game by Andrew Plotkin that we have been playing for a couple of months now, or 1.75 months, as we rejoin the Dauntless Ensign Forsyth in their attempts to, as I just said on Twitter, unbork His Majesty's Marcher, the Unanswerable Retort, through a series of explorations, alchemical and spiritual and physical and chronological. Joining me here this week is, once again, the author of the game, Mr. Andrew, quote, Zarf, unquote, Plotkin. How are you today, Zarf?
I'm doing pretty good. As you know, I'm in the Boston area, so I spent this entire weekend shoveling the silly white stuff.
Yes. Also, and the snow, too, has been all right with you?
That also,
Yeah.
yes.
So I'm broadcasting from New York. Also, there is snow. There is not quite as much. We are further to the west and further to the south, and that is where we are on the IF parser-based compass rose. Also, my building has a super, so I didn't have to do any shoveling at all. Thank you, Marco. I wanted to take you to task, as we were just talking in the pre-show, because apparently we have a pre-show now, about the main puzzle that I solved last week. And by solved, I meant looked at a nudge on. I'm going to switch to it now, and the audio will actually work this time. That's not it. I went to a different window. I hope that wasn't embarrassing. No, that was me looking up. Okay. Me looking up hints for OBS and stopping screen flickering, which is another experiment we're doing. So let me switch to that. Here we are. So this is Dan Fabulich's amazing Invisiclues hint book for Hadean Lands, which you can find on intfiction.org. Through much of last week's much of last week's stream, I because I am a newbie streamer, as I keep throwing myself upon my audience's my limited audience's infinite patience and mercy. I am still learning this, and I commit new mistakes every time, as I should, because that is how we learn. And the mistake I made last time was every time I brought this screen up, I said, "Oh, I'm gonna let my the viewers look over my shoulder as I look at Dan's hints." I didn't turn on any kind of microphone configuration for this, so every time I went to this screen, the mic went dead, and I was talking about how wonderful this is and musing out loud about the puzzle solutions and hints, and nobody heard any of this. At one point, so anyway, why do I bring this up? I bring this up because I got a nudge. Okay, these are all obfuscated again. That's good. So let's go back to the game. Oh, Zarf, I didn't think I shared my screen with you yet. I'll do that later when we get to when you get to start playing. Okay, so last episode does contain a little. I got off on a subject a little bit, and I got to do it twice, because the first time I did it while the mic was off, and then I did it again from the top after friend and viewer Bathsheba noted very helpfully in the chat. Thank you very much. Are we supposed to be hearing something right now? To which the answer was yes, and I fixed the audio. And then I started the rant from the top. And the rant was this. So in my first playthrough, I do not recall having this problem. The problem was it took me forever to figure out how to ignite elemental fire. And the reason was I couldn't find the gold. Now, the gold is hidden in a cabinet which is pretty early in the game and which you have access to actually quite soon. It's locked with a simple lock. You literally find the key lying around on the floor in the first part of the game. And the way you find the gold is you pick up the key, you walk over to the cabinet it's in, and you unlock it, and there's your gold. It's already pre-phlogisticated and everything. Because I was extremely overthinking this playthrough, and because it had been several years since I did that playthrough, I had no memory of it, which is fine. The problem was this. In the let's see if I can bring it up. Let me bring up the game view here. iPad as my secondary device, and it keeps break time. My goodness. How long was my break time thing up?
I think it just went up a few seconds ago.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. We're good. We're good. Um So, the reason I was confused about this, about the gold, was another thing you find fairly early is I don't know where it is in this massive list of rituals and formulas, but you're told at some point that you can replace, and I think I know why now. But you're told fairly early on, you find information that tells you that you can swap in phlogisticated electrum for gold in the elemental fire ignition thing.
Right.
So I thought, oh, I know what this means. This means there's no gold in the game at all, and you have to phlogisticate electrum in order to make fire for the first time. And okay, the only thing I'm missing here is yang oil, whatever that is. So clearly, I'm just going to run across some yang oil at some point.
By the way, there's people are noting that the volume on your main chat is not up to the same level as the volume on your hint chat. That is, the two OBS configurations should have the volume turned off on both of them.
Really?
Check that.
Whoa. Okay, hang on. What it? Okay, volume is up. Okay, so thank you, people. I think the levels are back up again. Still learning. This is what we're here to do, friends. We're here to learn, right. Especially me.
Didn't mean to interrupt you. You were complaining about gold.
I was complaining about gold. Thank you for reminding. Please interrupt me. I appreciate you being the audience handler, and and my stage. Not stagehand, but yes, please do watch the chat and pass along messages as needed when I am wandering off into my own head here. But yes, I would like to complain about gold because I know this is on me. It is on me that I way overthought this, and I didn't even notice the opposite of the lack of gold. The fact it was sitting right there the whole time. That is a particular, not flaw of text adventures, but a particular pitfall to players of text adventure games. Usually it's exits you don't see, like an exit that is listed in a room description that's there, and you just don't note it. And then because you think you have an internalized map of the game well burned into your head, it may take you a long, long time to even see that there was a doorway to the east right from the beginning the entire time. Not even hidden in plain sight, literally just in plain sight. And that was the case with this gold. So, and I was led astray by the combination of not seeing the gold and then finding the thing that says, oh, you can use electrum. So I was piling up. I was getting up to like 4 or 5 things that required elemental fire, and I couldn't do any of them because I was blocked. I thought I was blocked by yang oil. And, yeah, so that's where I was. And I ended up looking at Dan's hints, and Dan's hints was like, it's in the It's in the cabinet. It's in the cabinet at the beginning. Can you get to the cabinet? And even though my mic was off, there was a silence. There was a silence when I read this, and I knew I could see folding out in front of me my mistake. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to yell at you about in person. Was me just flying way overshooting the solution to this puzzle in a way that makes sense, that I overshot it the way that I did. But It's kind of like, I don't know. I doubt that was intentional on your part. I think I know why the replacement thing is there. I'm positive it isn't a red herring. But I'm wondering, like, if A, you've run into this this bit of feedback before, and B, how intentional it is, and C, if not intentional, how amused you are by it.
Well, of course I'm amused. I don't think I've run into people complaining about that particular trap, but the entire game is going to be, the entire game is made of, well, you need this thing, and if you don't have it yet, you can't proceed on that puzzle. You got to go somewhere else and work on some other puzzle. Every single thing in the game is like that, right? If you haven't found it yet, you have to do something else until you find it, whatever it is, and there's no way to tell where it is, right? There's nothing that's ever going to say the thing you're looking for is in that cabinet you haven't unlocked yet, or that room you haven't explored yet. So it is very common for people to overrun some kind of puzzle in some sense like that, because they haven't solved some puzzle, which I thought was earlier on. That's just going to happen to everybody.
Yep.
I'm not sure if there's anything else to say about it.
I believe you. That's enough.
It's a broad and bushy game, and that means there's lots of little branches going off in all sorts of directions, and you just got to poke at all of them until one of them moves forward.
Speaking of that, let us use that as our segue to actually start playing this game. So,
good plan.
Sharp-eyed viewers who are just rewatched the end of the last one, or otherwise have memories as good as the player character, will notice there's a bunch of stuff here that we did not end the last episode on. That's because I prepped a bit, thinking, what are my first moves going to be? So my first moves are going to be this. I want to create a couple of things. I want to create a glass permeability inscription, because I'm pretty sure we have at least one pane of glass that we might wish to make permeable and then permeate ourselves right through it. That's not the right transitive verb, but I'm using it anyway. And I think we also have the right ingredients to make a Centrality Lodestone, which might allow us to find the center of the paper labyrinth. That's me checking that my cats, speaking of labyrinthine efforts, have a exit to the room I'm in, because they have finished their 6 o'clock meal, and if they don't, they will jump all over my keyboard. But it looks like the door behind me has been opened by human or animal or dragon. Any of these is fine. Anyway, I want to do some cooking, so let's get to work. Let's start with the Centrality Lodestone. So I'm going to head over to... Actually, you know what? Let's do this in the text. Okay. To create Masuba's Lodestone. Hi, Mike. To locate the center of the labyrinth. Prepare an environment of earthy influences. Place a silk thread within the bound and a labyrinth symbol upon the Gestalt shelf. I like to say Gestalt. I've been saying that the entire stream, and I'm not going to stop now. Begin with the Amithrax Healing. Pour a sample of Veridigree over the silk. We might need to make that for the first time. I'm not sure. And then lay a shard of elemental earth onto it. Strike a chime in the mode of Recension. Now lay elemental fire upon the labyrinth symbol, not into the bound. Finally, the minor animus will bind the lodestone to potential motion. So let's see. Do we know where? First, I'm going to bring this up in its own window here. I know by the end of the last episode, I was just copying and pasting these into a text file, because this ritual window was just getting way too You know what? I'm just going to do that. So I'm just going to paste this in here. And I'm going to delete Winfield's clock tincture because we made that. I remember that. That was fun. Sublime Spirit, we've got that checked off too. So that gets deleted. All right. So we get that. Now I know what we need. So let's see if let's confirm we have access to all these things. If I say go to Silk, the length of silk cord is in the main store, as you recall. You head that way. Examine silk. You have found a short length of cord, woven of raw silk that is literal and good. Taken. Earthy influences, we'll worry about that later. Labyrinth symbol, I am positive we have seen that before. But if I say go to Labyrinth, that's going to be ambiguous, but the game might say, which do you mean? In which case, we will tell the game what we mean. The Labyrinth tile, well, it turns out that's exactly what I meant, or desired anyways, in the junior quarters, as you recall. You head that way. You also notice, skipping to the end, a clay tile lying under one of the bunks. There's no tyke here. Even though it's the junior quarters, no tykes here. And let's check that out. This is a small clay tile embossed with a labyrinth figure. This is actually me using my human meat brain outside of the game to remember that, yes, we have seen something with a labyrinth stamped on it somewhere. And it was in the messy junior quarters lying around underneath one of the bunks. Side note, since I'm only noticing it now, the paragraph that tells you about the tile specifically says it's lying under one of the bunks. And to me, this is the game reassuring you that this is not a game where you have to literally manually look under every piece of furniture. It's just telling you there's a thing under the bed as you walk into the room. I know many players, and occasionally I'm in a mood where I like to go escape puzzle full ham on a space and rip open all the drawers and look under everything, and see how many goodies and treasures and keys and doors I can find that way. This is not that game, and this is one of those places where the game is quietly reminding you that this is not that game. And I appreciate the occasional reminders. What if I do type look under bed? Now that I've said all that, yeah.
Don't actually remember.
Have a library response. Okay, so we get that. Oh yeah, because we're not doing phlogistication. Labyrinth symbol, Gestalt self, yes. Amithrax Healing, I know we have that, and we can confirm we have that just by trying to speak it. And the game will say, like, you say it, but nothing happens. That's literally what happens. Okay. Have we made Veridigree? I know I've seen that in our list. Okay. So in the rituals window, you'll note it is marked with an asterisk, which means here's a thing we have not done yet. So let's see if we can do this as we push a level onto our stack. The process is quite simple, and as a technical writer, I wish to object to beginning any piece of instruction with that, but this is how people write. Place orichalcum in vinegar. Oh yeah, that was the other big win last week, was finding orichalcum, as well as gold, I think. Or did we find the orichalcum 2 weeks ago? Whatever, we finally have the orichalcum. No, I think we ended the episode 2 weeks ago, finding the orichalcum. Orichalcum and vinegar into a retort, apply the hermetic sealing. Oh, that's easy. Do we have the phlogistical catalysis? Invoke catalysis. Yes, we have it. And we just fired it off to no effect, and that is fine. So let's get us some vinegar. Scuttling all over the retort, gathering up bits and bobs. Flask of vinegar is in the chemic lab. And does it have a special Description. No, I'll just trust it's in here somewhere. I just like, it's been a while, so I'm just looking at things as I'm picking them up. Examined vinegar, common vinegar, albeit purified and concentrated to alchemical standards. Good. All right. Oh yeah, we need to go to the orichalcum if we haven't melted it already in this loop. I didn't check for that, and if we have, we get to do all of this again. Oh, it's in our hands. What a pleasant surprise. I am now going to risk destroying this entire stream by sharing my window with Zarf so that he can better follow along. Or are you okay with this, Mr. Plotkin?
No, go ahead and share it.
Let's see if I can do this without wrecking everything. I do like messing with my stream live. It's the best. How do you share things in view?
I mean, I can follow in Zoom, but there's like a 15-second delay on that, and
yeah,
following is an
share screen. There we go. For mysterious reasons, I don't use Zoom at work. I use Google Chat. It's kind of weird. No, that's not what I want to do. Share screen. Oh, here it is. Hadean Lands, the game. Bang.
Right, there you are.
Nice. Okay. Orichalcum rod. We got it. We're already in the chemical lab. Let's make some viridigree. Let's drop this thing right in there. First, let's make sure our retort is clean and not full of garbage from whatever the last thing we did was. Okay, looks empty. Otherwise, there would be another paragraph here listing all the garbage in it, but I think we have been cleaned up after whatever our last mess was. So put orichalcum in retort, and then put the vinegar. You know, I like using the correct verbs here. Pour vinegar, although put would also work. In retort. Measure vinegar is in there, and now says apply. Did apply hermetic sealing work? No, I'm curious. I don't think I've ever tried apply. No. You take a breath, trace the bound in your mind, and intone the hermetic sealing. The retort's equator begins to glow pearl gray around the orichalcum rod and the reservoir of vinegar. So I think so far pearl gray is the only color we've seen from the retort. I don't know if we're going to see anything else, or if that's just the nature of retort usage. Time to heat it. Shunks. Heat until the vinegar just begins to boil, and then invoke the phlogistical catalysis. So we're going to wait. It is not boiling yet. Okay, the vinegar bubbles over the flame. It's time to invoke our catalysis. You begin murmuring the phlogistical catalysis. Immediately, the orichalcum starts to dissolve, tinting the solution to a delicate turquoise. It takes some time to run through all the permutations. By the time you're done, the orichalcum is gone, and the acid solution has been reduced to a thick turquoise layer. A few moments later, it is entirely dry. You shut off the gas flame, tap the viridigree powder out into, and tap the You shut off the You shut off the gas flame and tap the viridigree powder out into a fresh vial. Check that powder out. What do you mean? Oh, I'm collecting all kinds of powders here. This is dangerous. They're gonna start spilling everywhere. Don't get the cat into that. Viridigree. Well, it is a dull turquoise powder, an oxide of orichalcum. I believe you, and our asterisk is now vanished from our alchemy journal index under the viridigree synthesis entry. So now we can continue with the last thing. What was that? We were creating Misuba's Lodestone to create the center of a labyrinth, and we needed this stuff, and we have it now. Back to that. Silk thread, check. Labyrinth symbol, check. Amithrax Healing, yes. Viridigree, got it. Shard of elemental earth. Well, let's go pick that up because we know where that is. Uh-oh. No, we've already killed it. Womp womp. Now the question is, do we want to hop to a different ritual or redo this? And I vote, as the only player here, we redo this because, heck, we've already made the verdigris synthesis. And actually, that's not the hard part coming up. The hard part is finding a chime in the mode of recension, which is going to take some recollection. So let's go ahead and reset. Into the void with us. Whoop. Okay, now if I recall, can I just recall recension, or do I need to look things up? Nothing comes to mind. All right. So I know that there is a lecture somewhere in the in-game notes under facts tying chimes and notes with stuff. It's not echo vibration. Okay, dude, I'm just going to page through all these because we only have so many facts here. Haha. It's not that. No. Elemental earth, billet combination. Oh, that's fun. We've apparently we memorized the combination made to make the billet, so we don't have to go through all the stuff to make the tincture to realign the calculator to make the billet. We can just reset it with our hands the next time we need to do that, and that's cool. It's not that or that. It's not that. Not about dragons. Musical theory. Here we are. I'm going to reread this until we get to a word I like. Music is the most complex of ritual elements. One might well call it obfuscated. Is this an obfuscated sea joke, Andrew Podkin?
I'm muted, aren't I? Yes, it probably is.
Okay, thank you. Well, we'll just pretend you needed to think about that for a while.
Right.
And I'm glad the audio problem was on your end for once. So I'm just spreading the love here. We begin with the nursery school lessons. The pitch A is associated with iron, the color red, the liver. B with bronze, orange, the stomach. C with brass. Yes, you can all chant along. But this is simplified to uselessness. What of non-classical metals? We now associate C sharp with rutilium, F sharp with aluminum, or aluminium to our Commonwealth friends, G sharp with nickel. Researchers have invented entirely new scales to deal with the spectrum of aether metals. Then the Eastern Empire uses the well-tempered scale. Thus, while F sharp is the mode of extension, G flat is the mode of ostension, G natural is intention, G sharp is paratension, and H, yes, there is an H, is the mode of recension. And then it trails off, and of course the very last word is the one that I am interested in. So we do want H, and I think there was, that is one of the chimes which is more easily available, so let's nip over to that. I wonder if we can just go to H, which sounds like we're about to deliver some sort of invective, but we're just going to be literal. The glass H chime is in the material store, as you recall. Blippity bloppity, and we need to do some rituals in order to get us there and solve some puzzles, and that is all roboted for us. Let's yoink that. So that is, now we now have a chime in the mode of recension. We can just hit it to make sure it works. The chime rings sweetly, filling the room with its note. I believe it. So now we need an environment of earthy influences. I would imagine just finding a rock will work. Let's go to that rotor card because I like using the rotor card. It's very flexible. I've already forgotten what symbols are on it. I've only used it for the rainbow. What is it set to right now? It's a snowy day. So if I turn that rotor, that's a windy day, a sunny day, a rainbow, a moonlit night. No, none of these are particularly earthy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that Oculus just so I can make sure my elemental correspondences are correct and I'm not just winging it. I mean, I am winging it, but at least if I can double check things, I shall. I have the Oculus. Okay. So let's go. I think there's some just like granite or something. What if I say go to rock? Rock salt, I guess that'll work. Look at rock salt through Oculus. It displays an earthy nature. That's good enough for me. I don't remember using that rock salt yet, so that's fun. We're starting over again. So like, let's get that silk. And let's get the labyrinth. Let's just say get tile. And let's get, we need to make verdigris. Verdigris, many eyes. You brew a vial of verdigris. Snip, snap, simple as that. Amithrax Healing, verdigris, elemental earth. Yeah, we have to go with that. This needed a few extra steps. This is a bit silly. So in this case, we go to elemental earth. Forsyth books it over to the room where the earth is. But in order to actually locate it in the junk pile, they need to create a lodestone of purity. So they immediately leave, make that. And now, and I guess they book it on back to the optics lab and pluck out the earth bit. So we have that. And I think that is all the bits and pieces we need for this. We are in the optics lab, which conveniently has an annex with a bound with a shelf on it. So let's get started right here. One step away. Let's prepare the earthy influences. So put the salt on the shelf. And put the thread, put the silk in the bound. And put a labyrinth symbol on the shelf. We have not yet done anything magical. We are just moving dry goods around. Now we will begin with Amithrax Healing, and things will start to get serious. You take a breath, trace the bound in your mind, and intone the Amithrax Healing. The arc begins to glow beige, unusual color, around the length of silk cord. Glowing beige, that sounds very 70s, I don't know. Now we get to pour the verdigris over the silk and then lay a shard of elemental earth onto it. Okay, so pour verdigris on silk. You empty the vial of verdigris onto the length of silk cord. The turquoise powder clings to the silk, as if to a magnet. Good sign. When things are weird and unnatural, we're heading in the right direction. Put earth on. It says it. Does that mean the bound or the silk? I'm reading that as the silk. The beige light ripples as you push through the arc. You lay the elemental earth on one end of the silk cord where it clings. Still good. We like sticky things. Strike a chime in the mode of recension. Hit that H. The glass H chime rings sweetly, and you let its resonances fill your mind. The shard of elemental earth brightens, seeming to capture and radiate light. Now? Oh no, we forgot elemental fire. Okay, you know what? We can just leave all this junk here. We didn't use anything up. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you used up the verdigris.
Oh, I thought, yeah. Okay. This is why I budget 2 hours for these. It's not actually, but it's. Yep. All right. I'm not going to hit undo. I'm going to play this game right. Whoop. Let's do the hard things first. Make verdigris. There it is. I think I noticed last week that ignite fire and make fire don't work. Yeah, because make fire brews a fire resistance potion, which is not what I want.
Did make elemental fire? I thought there was something.
I would be disappointed with myself if I didn't try that.
No. Huh. I thought, well, anyway.
No,
Well,
well,
it's possible that there's some way of doing it, but
there's a plain one? We'll come back to that. I can't remember. I had some shortcut I discovered last time that just needed a couple extra turns to ignite the fire.
oh, actually, is there a if it's listed in your rituals, you might put it like perform elemental fire ritual.
Glad you're here.
I'm trying to remember the no.
Well, elemental fire. I had it. There we are. I remembered the keyword.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
There it is.
Elemental fire ignition. Well, fine. Whatever, it works.
Yeah. Well, now here's the thing: is I type go to gold and it says which gold do you mean, and there was like a plain gold rod somewhere. I'm like, there is, but I don't care right now. Let's eyes on the prize, Jmac. Back to our notes. Okay, I'm going to read through this. I'm sitting on my hands, reading through these ingredients here. Earthy influences, no. We need to go get the salt. Okay. Get thread. I said sitting on my hands, and you can immediately hear me typing. Yes, whatever. Oh, that's funny. I suppose so, game. I suppose the steel bolt does count as a thread if it's in my hand. Go to the tile. The tykes again. Have the verdigris. Got the earth. Got the H. Fire we just did. Okay, so reading from the top. Now I sit on my hands. Earthy influences. Silk thread. Labyrinth symbol. Verdigris. Earth. Chime. Fire. We absolutely have the minor animus. I will just make extra super double monkey chore that we do. Okay. Phew. From the top. Okay, earthy influence check. Let's do our initial setup. Oh, not in the bound, sir. On the shelf. You remember this. Little switcheroo there. You expect to dump everything into the bound. This is not that. There's our glowing beige. I'm going to peek in the chat just to make sure nobody's yelling at me to stop because I've forgotten something. Okay. Nope, looks like we're on par. Where's my notes? I'm now doing this. I'm now reduced to a single display because I'm using the best computer I've used so far that belongs to me, which is a 2021 M1 MacBook with exactly 2 USB ports, one of which is used for power, the other is my mic, and that's all of them. And I have yet to get a good USB-C hub because these are surprisingly hard to find. So there's no wired secondary display for me, which is why I was trying to use a wireless one. Anyway, back to the alchemy. We're going to pour the verdigris. And if I mess up here, I am going to use the undo, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Clings as if magnet. Yes. Now we put that shard on the thing. Now we hit the H. Zoop. Capture and radiate light. Now we put the fire on the thing. Not into the bound. It says that parenthetically. We're going to put it onto the labyrinth. And not onto the shelf either. Specifically onto the labyrinth. Lay elemental fire on the labyrinth symbol. Use small word. You put the flaming phlogisticated gold rod on the labyrinth tile. So it didn't say anything one way or the other about this. Did I miss a step? I don't think so, because everything has been positive in things happening with clinging and radiating light. And I hit an H. Just paranoid here. I struck that. I lay that. I'm going to speak the animus. Looks good. You voice the minor animus, trying not to cough. The shard of elemental earth acquires a milky tint. As the formula progresses, it thickens towards opacity, and the elemental flame dims, its phlogiston draining away. When you reach the final throat-clearing stop, the bound goes dark. The earth shard is now pure white, with fine labyrinthine lines crazing its surface. Oh, that's a good verb. The silk cord has melded with the stone, forming a pendulum. Good work, kid. I did notice last week how the internalized Sarge appears more often towards as you get deeper into the game, which is pretty cool.
I'm not sure that was intentional.
That was my next question, because you don't really hear them, at least in the early puzzles, except that they're sort of berating you, and now when they show up, they praise you.
And that might have been on purpose.
Yeah.
But I think I just went through and picked out moments that seemed like they required a Sarge comment and threw one in.
Yep.
Of course, he starts out at the beginning in the tutorial section, but.
Yes. No. Yeah. It's a distinct character who is, very much a Sarge, and I think the term of address sort of improves from swabby to kid, so it becomes a little more affectionate, it's going to be a disappointment back when Forsyth meets the Sarge again and is slammed back into reality, I'm sure. But for now, we are here in the land of enchantment, and we have made. What were we doing? Why did we do all this? I was
actually before you go off with the pendulum.
Yes.
Take a look at the gold rod. You were asking about this earlier. See, you used up the charge.
Oh, so yeah. Well, what happens if I say go to the normal gold rod and the phlogisticated one is still in the cabinet?
Well, one of them is outside the game. I mean, one of them is off stage.
It's off stage,
and one of them is on stage, so it's not going to let you do it.
Okay, well, that makes sense. It's like, yes, I acknowledge that this thing exists somewhere in time and space, and you can't go to it. Because the current state of the universe is not that way, but perhaps that'll change. Okay. Good O. Thank you for pointing that out. And I was about to do the thing where it's about to run off and leave the thing I made sitting in the middle of the bound. So what did we make? It's a Lodestone of Centrality. Thank you. The Lodestone of Centrality is a length of silk cord with a white stone fastened to one end. When swinging, it will align itself with the path to a center of a labyrinth. Let's go to a labyrinth. So the reason go to labyrinth worked and wasn't ambiguous is because I'm looking at our map now and I see that the thing I have in mind is identified with the word maze and not labyrinth. So let's go there. The tile's right here, you idiot. Okay.
That's a synonym, you fool.
Well, it's fine. There.
Sure.
We're here. We're in the paper maze next to the paper garden. I suppose the name of the room is Lost in Paper Maze is the full name of the room we're in.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that doesn't work, actually.
Interesting. I'm not going to submit a bug report because you're right here.
No.
If you want to take a note, you can do so. And if you want to nod and smile and think
Ignore
of...
it for the next 5 years, yes. But otherwise,
Precisely.
this is not a game that is going to get another update.
Well, okay. Then I'm happy. I wish to assert it's quite playable without Zarf literally right here playing along as well. As has been demonstrated in about half of the episodes, because not entirely... where was I going with this? What I'm saying is, I just wanted to praise Dan's hint book again. So I'm really happy for that. And when all this is wrapped up, I will sing its praises once more. Yeah, how do we use this thing? I guess you swing it. Because it's a pendulum. Ooh, text. You hold the silk cord by one end and set the stone swinging. The stone circles oddly for a moment, then leaps to one side. You turn down the path it indicates. Soon the pendulum tugs the other way, and you follow it further. After just a few moments, the maze opens up into a wide clearing. New room. Paper maze, center. You have found the heart of the hedge maze, a circle of paper screens. A single opening to the west leads back to the labyrinth. You also notice an open hatchway which leads to a crawl space below. The dragon Numa is a mandala of alchemical runes inscribed on the screens. This one, too, looks lifeless and inert. 2, because we found the dragon in the Aethery Bridge last week, and that was the first dragon we encountered face-to-face. A fragment of paper lies by the hatchway. Oh, lots of goodies. Okay, first let's check out that hatchway, but we're not going to run down it just yet. It's just an open hatchway that leads down. Okay. Let's have a look at the poor sick dragon. Circles of gray glimmering runes cover the inner screens. This is Numa, one of the Marcher's 4 dragons. Numa is responsible for light, warmth, and the flow of air, which I take to mean what other science fiction called the life support system of the Marcher. Something is wrong, however. By all accounts, the circles of the runes should be rotating, eternally reading themselves. The color is wrong, too. Numa can't be dead or you'd be suffocating in the dark, but it clearly isn't working correctly. So, another dragon to fix, and we do not know how to fix dragons yet. But it's good to know where they are, and it's good to see that they are askew. Let's read that paper. You don't recognize the handwriting. As alchemy's domain now encompasses the human body, the aura, and even the mind, we are left with the question of the soul. Could the human soul be... Could the human soul can be created? Sorry. Let's start over, and I'll just add a bit of editing if you don't mind. Could the human soul... Could the human soul be created, destroyed, or duplicated by alchemical means? The religious answer is, of course, an adamant negative. Nonetheless, Nasib's investigation of the echo phenomenon is provocative, if not yet conclusive evidence of soul mirroring. You memorize the information and also pick up the sheet, just in case. So we've heard about echoes before and souls. If we recall echo, we have, I'll just reread this. Chuang argues that the soul exists in an as yet undetected medium, a soul aether, as it might be. The echo is then in a transitory vibration of this substance. Lacking volition or identity, the vibration is not self-sustaining. Chuang's computation of the characteristic decay time accords with observation. I don't know if this is before or after the same sheet, or the same bit of notes. But yeah, so these are a bit of lore that is pointing at the oddity of the situation we are in. For the first time, I'm wondering if, wait, are we a ghost? It's scary. I don't want to think about that too hard, which I think is literally what the game says when you like look at yourself in the Oculus, because yeah, your own body is reacting weirdly to alchemical reading devices. So things are goofy. Things are goofy and strange, and we are caught in time. Perhaps we were not so much unstuck in it as stuck in it. Let's have another look. We've looked at Numa. There's not a lot we can do with Numa. I know, like, if we want to be a smartass and try to, like, hand crank the circles, I'm pretty sure that doesn't work. Yeah, if the dragon was functional, it would turn itself. So I'm glad it nods at your effort to do that, and it's like, yeah, no, you knew before you started typing that would not be the solution. But I know where you're going with that. There is an unexplored direction, and we will now explore in that direction. Garden Crawlway. You are at the west end of a low corridor, but the way east is fracture blocked. Light spills down from an opening above. There's a wide crack in the south wall, although it looks like it narrows ahead. You feel oddly heavy. And now I shall risk, and I will tell myself, perhaps I will tie a string around my finger to tell me that, no, we're not going to hints, we're going to the map, to not leave it on the screen. And, yeah. Oh, Mike already wants Hadean Lands 2, Thalassian Lands by Zarf, by the way. So you already have your first Kickstarter supporter for that. Looking at the map, which I will scroll down a bit, I note that the crawlway we are now in leads to Barosea, which is the lair of the dragon, which we already know is responsible for the ship's, for lack of a better term, artificial gravity, or maintaining the gravity level, the gravitational consistency of the Marcher. Put it that way. I'm actually going to turn the levels up a little bit more. So we're in the yellow zone in OBS. Oh, I like that better. So yeah, we have been able to look into the Barosea from the bottom of the grand stairs, but there's a gate that, or a portcullis that barred our entry. And because that dragon is all messed up, not feeling good, we could not get to the deep lab because we could not cross the chasm because the gravity was too icky and igry. All of which is to say, let us proceed south if we are able. I do not know that we shall be able. There's nothing in this room other than a foreshadowing that we're about to get gravitationally weird again with that final paragraph that we feel oddly heavy. I want to smell the gravity. I bet that won't work. Nope. Okay, fine. The sense of weight grows more intense as you move along the crevice. Within a few yards, you feel as if you are carrying a backpack full of bricks. This passage must run through the terrain of a high-gravity land, and Barrows is not compensating for it. You turn back before the weight becomes lethal. Okay, so here's a puzzle. We cannot simply traipse into Barosea neither from the north nor from the west. This way at least seems physically possible. The other way was just barred with a big old gate. This appears to be the way that we do it, but we need to somehow make ourselves lighter. And, you know, I'm going to try the first text adventure-y thing of dropping all our stuff and trying it again. Nope. Even though we are carrying... Okay, fine. Oh. Let's just be super literal about this. No, we are not dropping the bundle of paper under any circumstances. Okay, that's not happening. If we go east, that's not there. Check out the fracture. It's simply blocking the crawlway. There is nothing interesting in that direction, and it is blocked on our map. I actually didn't change back to the game, did I? No, I did not. You stayed on the map. Ha ha ha. Well, I read everything out loud, so.
Sorry, I saw those comments go by and I actually misunderstood what they were saying.
No, it's
Yes,
this is the
you are still on.
87th
You have
time.
not floated off into
Literally
into the
every
void.
single time I switch to the map, saying this time I'll remember to switch back to the game, and I never do.
Okay.
This had happened 0 times. So yeah, we need to make ourselves nice and light. Maybe, perhaps. We need to reduce our mass. We need to do something magical. I know that there is one thing already, which I am obsessed with the idea, because I was thinking either I had this idea and I did it, or I had this idea and I didn't do it, of reversing the make lead heavy, which we did do last week in order to get us to snap off the counterweight and get up to the bridge. So that formula has written in it a suggestion that you can flip it, reverse it, and I don't know how to do that. And rather than worry about that right now, I'm going to go to the other thing on my to-do list, actually. That was the Centrality Lodestone. We found a couple of new rooms. We found a new puzzle. That is good. That is progress. The other thing I want to do is permeate some glass. And before doing that, we need to get the bronze chime that is on that ledge. And in order to do that, I wonder if I can say this. Yes, I think we can fire off this talisman to attract metals, which I have no memory of. I can absolutely tell you that on my first playthrough, I spent a long time balancing stuff on that ledge to get that chime and failing again and again. And I think that this may be the solution, however. I think I can cut right around that puzzle and just do this. And as I said in my notes, just Accio, the chime, if I can mix and match lore right into our hands. So I want to try this. I want to make this talisman. So let's read this recipe and see how far into this we can get. This is good. Like, I feel like the last few weeks have been making a lot of tools and toys, and then having made them, figure out how they fit together. Rereading from the top. A common lodestone will attract iron, but to exert influence on other metals requires an alchemical preparation. Begin with a Saturnine environment. That's already a challenge because I don't remember. If anyone watching remembers what environments are Saturnine, please shout out. Otherwise, I can just Sherlock Holmes around with the Oculus, but I'm very lazy. So if any of my co-players remember, that would be good. I need to find a brass chime because let us go to the. Why is it I want this? I'm skipping ahead of things. Please, forgive me. Why is it I even want that chime? The reason I want that chime is because the central. Oh no. Yes, the permeable glass inscription. So if I recall, you will note the very top, conveniently, of this ritual is select a chime in the key of F sharp. And wouldn't you know it, if we say go to F sharp, where do we end up? But the chasm. And here we see that you see a bronze chime lying on the far end of the slab, yada, yada. So the thing I want to try doing is get that bronze chime. And to do that, I need another bronze chime. And is there a bronze chime? I haven't looked. Well, there's one right here, so it's going to say there's one right here, you idiot, the way the game does. So let's go to a different room, okay? Which do you mean, the game asks? The bronze F sharp chime or the bronze B chime? I have no idea where the bronze B chime is. Why, it's in the flooded arcade crawl space. But you'll have to be more specific about getting to the flooded arcade crawl space. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I guess we need to make the water breathing potion to do that first. Maybe. What if I just say, hang on, go to arcade. And what if we just say down? Oh, really? I can just grab it? Yoink. Okay. Didn't need to make, just needed to take a dive on that one without having to make anything. So that's in our hands now. And nothing else because I dropped it all at the bottom of the maze, including the lodestone to find the center of the maze again, folks. I just want to point out that's definitely a thing that I did. That is absolutely something that just happened and I just realized. And that's why we play these games, for moments like this. So I hope I didn't need anything else in that pile. And if I did, I'll just start over again. So, well, we got that. So now we want to attract metals. Common lodestone, Saturnine environment. Bound, creating a chime. Yes, yes. Metal chimes are preferred. What am I even reading? Let's just recall that again, shall we? There. Now you have it again. Metal chimes are preferred, as glass may be insufficient to the strain. We're not going to use glass for this. Use a simple sealing, surround the chime with Zaffronum, and immediately ignite this. Well, we love burning things. And go to the lighter. Get the lighter. And vocalize a resonant tone, strike it, use the immediate anima. Once the ritual is complete, striking the chime. Can we say immediate anima? Yep. Do we have a resonant tone? I wonder if singing works. I'm gonna try that. Oh, it does work. Okay. I'm going to try hum next time. I think that's everything. And I think we, all the junk we tossed out of our reach, we don't need right now. We do need to, Saturnine environment. I'm going to go check the chat, see if anyone has any ideas. No, we just have some snark about one does not simply walk into the Barassi. Yes, thank you, Schmike. Okay. Well, let's make that Oculus then. Oops, excuse me. By get, I meant make, of course. Okay. I don't remember what things are aligned with Saturn. So I can just like look at things randomly here. Where are we? Well, there's no shortage of things here. Oh, look, it's still all set up from our last experiment. It's been a while since we did a reset, I guess. The tiles maze is redoubled into an infinite regression of forking paths. Yes, I suppose it would be. Let's go to the B. Where would be a bunch of stuff? Maybe the material store. Here we are. Stone chips, moon metal, quartz. It's orderly. Not really Saturnine. I think I'm using the wrong thing here. I want the planetary lens, don't I? Wrong tool for the job. Go back to the main store again. This time look at the same thing through the lens. What happened? Because I am not where I think I am? That's weird. A little confused here. Hang on. Where was... Oh, there's main store and material store. These are not the same room. And the game is correct. I am in a completely different place from the first place. Look at the diamond because it's here. Associated with the earth. Yes, I would expect so. Faint planetary echoes. No. Perceive an association with the retort itself. Well, that's fun, but that doesn't help. The quartz is earthy. I would imagine the moon metal is moonish, yes. I would imagine all of the chips are going to be earthy. Okay. Man. Materials. Series. Well, we're off the Earth at least. Solar eclipse. That's okay. Wow, that's cool. Mars is iron. All right. What else is here? Did we do platinum? Did we try platinum? Yeah. Okay. What if I say go to Jupiter? No, you don't know any such location. Well, technically, I wouldn't know how to go there. It's true. Anything over here? Yeah, that's the thing we don't know how to open. It's too heavy. Look at things in the Pyrex lab. All of this wood is clearly going to be earthy. Let's try just... No, it's not associated with anything in particular. Hey, look at that. It's all about the very basic metals. This lead is really useful. I have used it again and again. Whoops. Okay. Good. What were we doing? Talisman, attract metals. Begin with a Saturnine environment. We got a Saturnine thingy. And I think we have scooped up everything we need. So let's get to my favorite place, the optics lab. Actually, just head straight to the annex for once. Here we are. Now we need to clean up all the stuff on the shelf, right? Oh, no, I guess. It's empty. Okay. Thought this is where we did the ritual earlier. But maybe that was elsewhere. Clearly, it must have been elsewhere. Okay. Right. Let's make this work. There is our Saturnine environment. And a bound containing a chime tuned to the desired metal. That would be the B. Put B in bound. This game really puts the B in bound. Let me tell you what. Too many. Whoop, excuse me. I probably looked ugly. Pardon me. I minimized a window I should not have. Did I destroy the world? No. Everything is fine. We're good here. Use a simple sealing. You take a breath, trace the bound in your mind, and intone the simple sealing word. The arc begins to glow slate blue around the bronze B chime. Slate blue. That's a cool color. Surround the chime with Zaffranum. Let's be super precise about this. Wonder if the parser will accept this. Let's find out. No, it will not. The slate blue light ripples as you push through the arc. You strew the Zaffranum threads around the chime. I am sure that some high percentage of people playing this game think it says Zarfanium or something and don't think too much about it. And immediately ignite this. Oh, excuse me. I'm wasting all this time not burning things. Pardon me. Burn Zaffranum with the torchlighter. The Zaffranum threads flare up and vanish. A puff of pungent yellow smoke rises and then swirls around the bronze chime. Again, things are getting goofy and weird, and that's how we like it. Vocalize. I'm reading ahead a couple steps. Vocalize a resonant tone to prime the metal, and then strike it without removing it from the bound. Resonant tone. You hum the resonant tone. The bronze B chime vibrates sharply in response. Hit that B. The bronze bee chime rings brightly, as if it were not lying in the mound, but suspended above it. The sound swells to a thrilling intensity, then fades. Cool. And now, I'm going to set that vibration with immediate anima. You raise your voice in the immediate anima. The bronze bee chime resonates again, this time with a deep vibration. One moment here. This time with a deep vibration that buzzes against the bound's surface. The slate blue light flares and fades, and you see a symbol gleaming on the surface of the bronze bee chime. No words from the Sarge this time. The bronze bee chime is charged with the alchemical sign for attraction. When you touch it to something, the symbol will discharge. But I don't want to touch it to something. That's the whole point. I just want things to come to me without the need of touch. That's fine. Let's reread these instructions. Once the ritual is complete, striking the chime will attract all nearby objects of the given substance. Okay. Well, I think the description is not quite right, and that is on Ensign Forsyth and not the game. That's how I choose to read that.
It's kind of on me, but...
No.
Technically, you're going to be striking it against something.
Yeah, my fist, I guess. Like, how did you imagine that the player is ringing the chimes? Are they just hitting it with their finger or their knuckle, or do like all the crew members carry around a little gong with them for this purpose?
The wall, your kneecap. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. What was it? F sharp. Look at that. I even remember the note. Ooh, I'm nervous. Ha, I did the thing. I didn't pick it up out of the bound. I can never remember the map, and I can never remember... This is more delightful because this just seems in character for both me and the player character to be like, yeah, he made a thing, and then run away.
It is kind of a trap, and I'm not sure... Like, how would you go about fixing that exactly?
I think it's hilarious. I like the way it is. Let me just insist. You pick up the bronze bee chime, careful of its inscribed attraction symbol. I'm going to up arrow back to the F sharp. And I'm carrying a bronze bee chime inscribed with the attraction symbol. I also want to note, I don't know if I've noted it on air yet, but on the Steam version of this game, because I think this is on itch and elsewhere as well, but on the Steam version, the little Steam cards you get with the art on it, like those are the in-game symbols, right? Because I think there's like Shadow and Homunculus and Attraction.
Yeah, it does. It's got all the dragons too. And of course, how canonical they are. I don't know. I kind of whipped them up on the spur of one evening when I needed trading cards.
As one does. Yeah, and Steam is... I have no idea how the the trading card economy works.
Me either.
I don't know if Steam themselves or Valve themselves have thought about this in 10 years, or if it just runs itself. Because it gave me a bunch when I started playing this. Like the first night I streamed it on like December 5th, and I haven't gotten any since. So mysterious. Maybe need to... I don't know what I need to do. I'm going to hit the chime. Here it goes. The bronze B chime emits a sharp, eager thrum. The bronze F sharp chime vibrates in response. It rolls across the slab and leaps into your hand. That's pretty much exactly what I hoped, and described with quite a economy of language versus the seeing paragraphs of text when something goes correct. It's just like, yeah, you have the chime now. The thing you wanted, it happened. What next?
There's an amusing consequence of this design, by the way, which is that I had to be incredibly careful about what I described as bronze anywhere in the game.
Right. Yeah. Well, for this in particular, because you have to have a bronze chime, so it's not like I can just grab any bronze paperweight from the library and use it for this.
No, but you could pick up any bronze item in the game by this method.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. Okay.
And then you notice I ruled out the idea of using the glass chimes because I just didn't want to go there. So it just this ritual doesn't work on glass chimes at all.
Why did you choose bronze then and not like a really exotic material that would give you an excuse to be like, yeah, let's
Well, I mean, chimes can be made of bronze and glass. I mean, chimes can be made out of a lot of things, but you couldn't. If I described it as like a lead chime, that would be incongruous. And if I made up a metal, well, it wouldn't seem as
wouldn't have that
bell-ish.
authenticity to it, that ring of truth, if you will.
Oh, don't do that.
All right. Here we are. Why did we do this? Because I have this, and yeah, the glass permeability,
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
Time to paste another thing into my notes. Permeability. I'm going to reread this too. And I can erase Masuba's Lodestone. See you later, Mike. Okay. To render glass permeable to matter, select a chime in the key of F sharp, checked and checked. Invoke a Hadean environment, the aspect of the sun. I'm pretty sure there's a sun coin lying around here somewhere, so that's an easy one. And we have a sunny day rotor card, which I love using, so let's plan to use that. Place the chime into the bound. Speak a simple ceiling. Sprinkle pure sand into the chime. There's a vial of sand lying around. It's not capital P pure. It's not perfect sand. It's not elemental sand. It's just clean. I think it's all it means here. So I think we got that. Yeah, don't go to the beach and fling some grubby tidal sand onto this. Resonant tone, sure. Strike the chime. Relative anima. And the rest of it is just instructions about how to use. Congratulations on the purchase of your new glass permeability chime. Blah, blah, blah. So let's go make this. I think we got this. And I don't think we need to do anything that we've locked ourselves out of. So this might actually be a pretty good run, for lack of a better. Let's go get that sand first. Yoink that sand. Look at the sand. Why, it's a flask of coarse white silicate crystals, which is to say sand. That makes it sound like it's pure sand and not sand cut with anything that is not sand. Duke. We have the F sharp. We did actually pick that damn thing up, right? No, it flew into our hands. Unlike everything else in the game, which refuses to fly into my hands, the F sharp, the only thing in the game, it is now my favorite object in the game. I wish to have a print of this on my wall to remember my Hadean Lands adventures when I am done. Or maybe I can just make one and then ring it, and it will remind me of the time. Anyway, I bet if I go to sun, it'll actually work, because I think... Oh, no, I said the rotor card. And what is the card currently set to? Moonlit Night. Oh, yeah, because I was playing with it earlier. That'll do, right there. Everything else is just singing and humming and striking. So let's go to our... Oh, look at this. We're already in the optics annex. Ready to go. We are done with you, Lead Rod. We'll clean you up. Teach me a lesson for not cleaning up after myself after an experiment. But put the card right on that shelf. Let's see. Check in the chat. Everyone is watching. That's good. That is our sunny environment. That is, our Hadean environment. Place the chime into the bound. We have 2 chimes now. I have to place the right one. Can I just say F? Yes. Thank you, parser. I put the F sharp chime into the tabletop bound, which I call simply F. Speak simple. The arc begins to glow yellow around the bronze F sharp chime. Sprinkle that sand onto the chime. Let's use the right recipient of the action here, and also the right preposition. No, I had it right the first time. You don't want to go applying random chemic substances outside the bounds of a ritual, because I tried to sprinkle sand on the chime in my hand and not the one in the bound. So, let's just drop the B. Everything I do involving the B and sounds like a euphemism. Dropping that B. It's fine. You carefully sprinkle sand over the bronze F-sharp chime. Each grain falls with its own tiny note. Good. Vocalize resonant evil tone. You hum the resonant tone. The bronze F-sharp chime vibrates sharply in response. We've heard that before, literally. Hit the F. The bronze F-sharp chime rings brightly as if it were not lying in the bound but suspended above it. The sound swells to a thrilling intensity, then fades. This, too, we have heard before, but in the key of B. Now we're in F-sharp. And this, now we just get relative here. You raise your voice in the relative anima. The bronze F-sharp chime resonates again, this time with a deep vibration that buzzes against the bound surface. The yellow light flares and fades, and you see a symbol gleaming on the surface of the bronze F-sharp chime. And what is the surface, my friends? XF, that's funny to type. It's a regulation naval ritual chime. A tiny symbol shines on the chime, the alchemical sign for permeability. And this time it does not include the stock sentence about when you touch it to a thing, etc., etc. Now I'm going to go back and reread the instructions for use. Once the chime is invested, done, one need merely strike it again and embed it into a pane of glass. A pane of glass. I suppose a pane is a kind of plane, anyway. The chime's vibrations...
It does have to be a plane of glass. I'm sorry, I'm reading ahead. Go ahead.
In fact, yes. We'll get to that. You are. The chime's vibrations will permit it entry, and the entire pane will then be semi-fluid for as long as the chime resonates. But only attempt this, here we go, with simple, flat sheets of glass. Curved glass, non-planar glass, if you will, has irregular vibrational modes, and the tuning will fail. So I think... I really want to bring up the map again, you guys. I want to do it. I'm doing it. Okay, so here we are at the map. Things are getting silly here. We're well into hour 2 of our 2-hour session. I think there are some large glass windows yonder in the vicinity of the exoscape. And now I am going to go back to the game view. I've done it. And go to the west, where that thing I just said is. When I can't see my own view window port anywhere, because I have all the windows on the screen at the same time. Can I just say go to Scaife? No, go to Arcade. Play some Ms. Pac-Man. You make your way to the Scaife Arcade. Let's reread this. You are in a pleasant red brick gallery edged by a row of wooden columns. A heavy steel portal in the west wall is the access to the Marcher's exoscape. It's currently closed. A valve wheel is mounted next to the portal. I don't remember any of that. The arcade runs north towards an overlook window. There's a corridor to the east. You also see a crawlway hatch in the floor. It's open, but it seems to be flooded. You notice a small brass cube lying by a column. Whatever brass cube. We've already used you. The north window is at the north end of the gallery, smart guy. Here we are in the north arcade. This is north end of the gallery. A long window in the west wall overlooks the exoscape bay. You can see the scaife itself on the other side hooked up to the portal you saw back south. And I see on the map, I'm not going to switch to it now, but perhaps you can see the pulsing star that suggests that the scaife bay is this red square area. And if we can somehow pass west through this window, I think we might be able to go to it. I don't know if this will work, But let's take a closer look at that window. Well, the thick glass is a bit wavy. We'll see if that works. The thick glass is a bit wavy, but you can see the exoscape bay on the other side. It's a high brick wall, the mirror of this one, but with vast steel doors on the far side. Most of the bay is taken up by the exoscape itself, a lumpy metal tortoise on track tread wheels. The scaphe is backed up to its entry portal, which connects to this hall southward. And there's a bit of paper lying there, which I was like. So back to our notes. Strike it again and embed it in the pane of glass. Simple flat sheets of glass. It's a bit wavy. I don't know if this will work. Let's go for it though. Except I won't, because you know what I did? I didn't pick it up. I created the lens. I created this chime that leapt into my hands because it is my best friend, and then I left it behind. I left it behind in the bound. As I do literally every time. And Zarf didn't point it out because I said precisely that I love it. I love doing this again and again, and I meant it, and I'm grateful that he did not.
Did you lose your companion chime?
I did. I lost my weighted companion chime. No, it's not weighted. There's weighted things in the game, and that wasn't one of them. That is portable and lovely. Go, gadget. Get F. You pick up the bronze F-sharp chime, careful of its inscribed permeability symbol. What did we call that room? North Arcade? Play some Space Invaders? We don't, but it says. Fine. Okay. You tap the bronze F-sharp chime. Its bright resonances fill the room and then shift to a steady, sustained hum. Well, the verb used by the notes was embed, so I'm going to try that. That's not an action. I understand. I'll try put like a punter. You press the chime against the window. The glass vibrates and the bronze sinks slowly into it, not like metal into tar, but like a knife sliding between infinitesimal layers of glass. That's cool. When you draw your hand away, the chime remains suspended in the glass. Its vibration continues at a steady pitch. I'm going to try listen. You hear nothing unexpected. I suppose that's literally true because I can hear. Of course, I expect to hear the vibration.
Yeah, I mean, I should have caught that.
Literally true. Just being a jerk. I'm going to try west. You press your fingers against the glass. You feel a steady vibration and a yielding as the glass slides through your flesh. It's rather unnerving. More unnerving, however, is the suction you feel on the other side. The bay must be in hard vacuum, depressurized through its damaged roof. Walking through in this state would be deadly. The sound of the bronze F-sharp chime continues. Okay, so we need to pressurize the bay, and I honestly don't know whether or not we have the tools to do that. We have various valves and levers available to us at the scaphe. Rereading. It must be in hard vacuum to pressurize through its damaged roof. So that means the bay's damaged roof, not the scaphe's damaged roof. So we cannot pressurize it at all if its roof is blown off. That's not a thing that... Okay, no amount of tinkering with valves and levers can repair that. We need to get to that dressing room again. So now we have like 2 reasons to want to get a spacesuit. So immediate reward for this is not on the menu today, but we're halfway there, and that's cool. I'm trying to remember if there's like any other window. Like, what if I step away from this and I type go to window like a ding dong? It's like, no, that's at the north end. Well, what if I go to a completely different room again? I'm trying to think of any windows we've seen in the game that don't step out into outer space. None of which I want to use. And I'm just scrolling through the map now, and I don't think that there are any other areas we want to go to that are blocked by window. I think it is just the Exoscape Bay. There's also just the screen that is separating the nave and the chancel, but I don't think that is glass. Heck, we're one room away. We can confirm this. So if we go south, the chancel is south of the nave, but there's no passage between them. The writ screen blocks your way. And to look at that, it is a mesh barrier which forms the south wall of the nave. So that is not made of glass. If I say look at glass, it means, yeah, do you mean one of the tchotchkes in your hands? No, in fact, I don't. All right. So this redoubles my obsession with getting into that dressing room where I'm pretty sure we can find some spacesuits, which we're going to need to get into a depressurized environment, of which we have found at least a couple at this time. What if we try going north? Marble handle. The door to the north is an imposing marble slab carved with cherubs and incongruously cheery grapevines. You've always wondered if this part of the marcher was taken from a decadent bathhouse somewhere. Be that as it may, the door is firmly shut. Cool. Okay. So, marble is not glass. I'm thinking if there's anything else that is glassish. Let's play a little bit with the Exoscape and all these valves and things, because I don't remember playing with any of these, honestly. Look at that wheel. So the wheel is marked Emergency Bay Pressurization, which is also marked with the shorthand symbol of Pneuma. Well, Pneuma's ass is broken, so this probably won't do anything. But let's turn the wheel. The valve seems to be locked in place. You're not sure what's wrong with it. Okay. Well, Pneuma's broken, so that could have nothing to do with it. If we go in here, there's more things to play with. So there's what is inside the Exoscape as far as controls. Windowless tank, presumably better view. We cannot go up. If we try, no, there's a pressure differential. You cannot do that. Circular bench, engine compartment to the west, which will reset you. Small emergency lever. And I'm pretty sure we have opened this cabinet before, so I'm not going to get too excited about that. The lever is pressure equalization for within the scaf. If we pull the lever. Okay. This lever is locked in place, no doubt because the steel portal is open. So what if we leave, and can I close the portal? You close the heavy steel portal, and the steel portal permits entrance to the Exoscape when it is in the bay. The portal is closed and pressure tight. So if we turn the valve now, nothing. Well, it was worth a shot. I thought maybe it didn't work while the portal was open, and that was not the problem. Or perhaps it was part of the problem, but it was not the entirety of the problem, if so. So what else do we have to play with here? And I do know that if you... well, let's just try it one more time, even though I already know what's going to happen. So if we close the portal here, and then pull the lever, you get a message that says, no, don't do that. You give the lever a quick tug, air shrieks through the valve, and you feel your ears pop. Gah! You release the lever before the pressure in the Exoscape can drop further. Suffocating yourself is not on the agenda. So it's happy to just vent all the air from the scaf into the bay, and that helps nobody. So that is not the recipe for fixing this. Okay, let's look at my next to-dos. Anything else we can do? So, where are we? Let's take stock. Doug is asking, can the roof be repaired somehow? Can we see the roof? Let's go back up there. Roof. Wow, you can look at the roof. Thanks for suggesting it, Doug. Through the window, you can see that the bay roof is badly damaged. Chunks of brick vaulting. That's one word, excuse me. Chunks of brick vaulting have fallen away, leaving a wide crack through which shine the brilliant, forbidding stars of a Hadean land. Pieces of roof have fallen on the exoscape itself. It's hard to tell, but it looks like the scafe's upper dome is also cracked, and the rest of the hull is battered and dented. This doesn't look like something that I can fix. This looks like it's really messed up beyond what a single ensign, even a unusually talented ensign with eidetic memory can fix. So I don't think that roof repair, and yeah, there's no roof repair robot, and I don't think we have a ritual to like make architecture the way it was some time ago. So this doesn't seem like something we can fix. This seems rather something we need to cope with. Which is why I am so laser focused on spacesuits, because I see on the dressing room map there are 4 little ovals, and I think those are suits. And I seem to remember a little bit of EVA on my first playthrough of this, but that's me cheating using my own memories. And perhaps my memories are lying to me, which they are known to do. So, all right, this is where we are with that. Let's look at our notes. So, things I still haven't done is mess with the lead weight increase to make it a lead weight decrease to open that leaden door, which I really want to do. That seems like something that is available to me the way it is. And that might be my visit to Dan's wonderful notes this week. We would have just enough time to do that, but I'm going to keep poking through my notes here. We did get the bronze F sharp. Go us. And there's still that tempting thing about the aura inscription, method 1, which we have all the ingredients to, and I think we did, in fact, last week, if I'm not mistaken, we fired off that ritual correctly. No, we definitely did. I remember we made that ritual, and we made a token that we could press to something to rip the aura off of it. So, and then disguise ourselves as that other person so that we could get into the birdhouse. The problem is we don't have access to any people. All the people are on the other side of fractures. And when I tried to use something instead of a person, like the captain's bed, or something that was intimately connected to a person, that didn't seem to work. So I'm open for ideas there. So we can make the aura inscription. We just can't do anything interesting with it. So that seems like another puzzle that we are halfway through. So I'm going to look at that lead weight increase again. And let's recall that. I also see the screen is flickering, which I am aware of, and that's too bad. I thought I try to fix for that. Apparently, the Mac OS version of OBS doesn't capture individual windows very well. It might work better if I have separate displays. I don't. So yet another thing to try week after week. Recall. I bet increase will work. Trailman's inscription. Hi, Jim. To increase the weight of lead. Blah, blah, blah. I reread this many times last week, I remember. Really focusing on the binding, the last sentence, which is concluded the binding of the celestial sphere to align the alchemical axis with the mundane axis of gravitation. Oh, look at that. And this one actually tells you what a Saturnine environment is. So you could use something with an anchor symbol, which is what I did. But instead, I looked around and I just found a metal instead. So go me for taking the long way. Meanwhile, the bronze F sharp is just humming in the background while we're doing all this. So we did this. This is something we pulled off. What we don't know, and I just is how to turn it upside down if that is in fact a thing. So I am going to go ahead and peek. I'm going to peek. I'm going to see. I'm going to peek at the notes. And okay, going to the hints. Going to remember the hints are up. I'm absolutely not going to remember the hints are up. And we're going to, speaking of coping, that's what we're all going to do here today. So another thing about Dan's notes is they are ordered in basically a way that they're ordered intentionally, in that, like, here is a sequence of doors that you can open that will get you all the way through the game. And those are the headers. So let's see how far we're down in this. We have, in fact, gotten... okay, junior quarters cabinet. That's what we did last time. Exoscave cabinet. We got that. A3 and alchemy doors, by the fact that they're so small. Have we done those? Can't even remember. I'm not going to worry about that right now. High tower cabinet. We got that, actually. Oh, that was a complicated puzzle, according to all that stuff. That's going to feel good about that. Observatory door. We did that. See, I'm feeling good that we solved these by ourselves. Deep stacks we got. Deep stacks intrusion we got. Main store safe. Pretty sure we nailed that one. Gonna keep reading. Medical wing door. Yeah, we got that. This is fun in itself. I'm having a good time with this. I hope you all are too. Just a greatest hits reprise. Medical wing hallway. Yeah, I think we got that. Deck suite cabinet. And he ran out of room. And he goes into the next post. Okay, storage nook cabinet. I'm going to pretend we already did that. The thing is about Dan's notes is if you are opening a later one and it says, okay, in order to do this, you have to have done this earlier thing. And I think that is as far as I read in the... yeah, that's as far as I got in the elemental fire hints. He's like, well, you need to open this cabinet. And I'm like, surely I have opened this cabinet. And I hadn't. And that was my discovery. I didn't have to look at any notes beyond that. North Arcade marble door. Okay, this is where we are. So this is telling me that I am correct in feeling this is the next thing to open. So that makes me feel good. I am going to double check that I have opened up Storage Nook because it's been so long, and it surprises me that something that sounds so basic as Storage Nook cabinet is this far down in Dan's notes, suggesting that whatever is inside of it, you don't need until this late. So let's go to the Storage Nook. That's the main store. Oh, yes. Here it is. I am further correct that we need... I think he used quite... Okay. Yeah, Dan's... I didn't change it back. Oh, no. I'm going to leave it on... Okay. We're back to the game now. So Dan's notes called this a cabinet. It is the hatch in the floor. And I am further correct that, yes, we have everything we need to open that hatch. And I don't know how to reverse it. And I know I'm supposed to, and I don't know how to do it. So I'm going to peek. I'm going to peek at Dan's hints. I should offer, like, Zarf, like, you're standing right here. Is there any nudge you want to say, or are you like, yeah, go ahead and look at Dan's hints?
Is there a nudge? You earlier you were thinking of the wrong step in the procedure that needs to be reversed.
Okay. Let's look at Troutman's inscription again, because that is on the screen, right? Yeah. Create an anchored. Place any common bit of stone into the bound. Invoke a simple ceiling. The only other thing I thought of is that you begin with the binding of Celestial Sphere and then end with the simple ceiling, but that seems totally incorrect. I'm just going to start doing that because let's just get into the spirit of the things and play around a little bit. So, do I still have that lens? Yeah, man. I still have the lead rod. I'm trucking on this thing. Any common bit of stone. So where do we find stone? Is that in the main store? No. Is that in the Pyrrhix lab? Let's gonna walk around manually for a bit because it's fun. Where do we find stone? Trying to think. Well, where do we find the obsidian? Because it was lying next to that. Granite. That's the stone I was thinking of. Let's get the granite. And why? Let's get moon metal too, just for fun, because that's not Earth. I have a stupid idea. Okay. See, this is cool because I'm getting ideas by just picking up these items in the game and imagining myself holding these items. And even though I'm just running around this pretend space and typing in commands to pick things up, it still encourages me to imagine myself holding these things. And with these two imaginary things in my hand, the lead rod here, I'm cupping my right hand. The lead rod is here. The bit of granite I held is here. And I'm like, I can do something with this. I'm going to try to do something with this. Let us scroll back here. What is it one does in the normal weight of things? You create a Saturnian environment, and then you put a bit of stone in the bound. So what if? I would put to you, what if you create an earthy environment, and then you put something Saturnine into the bound, my friends? There's only one way to find out that answer. Well, I suppose I could read Dan's hints. That would be the other way to find out. There is a way I'm going to try first. Yeah, okay. This is fun. What do we got? Of course they're done. Get the card out of here. Get out of here, card. Get Troutman. If I recall Troutman, will that work? Ha, it does. Okay. This is extra funny to me because I in my day job I have done freelance work for Jim Troutman quite a bit, so it's fun to think about my former client inside the realm of the game. Anyway, let's do the mischief that I said I would do. What do we need? I need a resinous note, so I need to go get that. I got that. I need to go get the rosemary. I think that's it. Everything else. Oh, Gaian precipitate. Oh, man. We're not going to be able to make this, are we? Not in this run, because it's going to need orichalcum. I just know it. The orichalcum rod is gone, you idiot. You used it in a ritual in the chemic lab. You don't know where to get another one. That's fine. Hey, look, we made Gaian precipitate. Do I want to read this whole thing? Zarf, do you want me to read this whole thing?
No, it would take too long.
You know what? You're right. I was going to say I need the vocal practice, but we've
only got 12 minutes.
We've only got 12 minutes left, so
maybe not.
Yeah. Yada, yada, yada. You use the purity lodestone to recover the elemental earth. You make your way to the chemic lab. You brew a vial of Gaian precipitate. The fire resistance potion has worn off. You are now in the chemic lab. We call Jim. No, it doesn't actually work. Okay, fine. I want the things. Give me the things. Lots of enthusiastic typing. Believe that's all he wants. So I stupidly, being very hard on myself, excuse me, I foolishly deleted this from my notes. I'm going to repaste it right back in there because, of course, we're doing this again. Go to my favorite place in the game. Go to Optics Annex, where I've made so many wonderful toys, and we're going to make another one, maybe. Create an earthy environment. What did we just do? Granite on the shelf. Clink. Put any common bit of stone into the bound. So we're going to put the lead into the bound. You can't tell me what to do. Ain't no one telling me how to live. Invoke the simple ceiling in Coke. The arc begins to glow beige around the lead rod. Oh, because we've already done an experiment on a lead rod, haven't we? And we've seen beige glow earlier this evening. Add a resonant note to the atmosphere. That's one of our very first tricks. Always good to see that again. Again, we smell nothing unusual because we expect the resinous aroma, and that's therefore not unusual. So there you go. The air seems to sharpen, again, giving us a nudge that we're on the right track for something, maybe. Let's speak a word of essential nature. You intone the word of essential nature, but it wavers as you speak it. Apparently, the lead rod has too complex a material nature to evoke in this way. Really? Okay. But it's lead. It's elemental. Welp, that's not going to work. Did I miss something? Create an accurate environment. Place any common bit of stone bound. Invoke a simple ceiling. Add a resonant in the atmosphere. Speak a word of nature. Yeah, that stopped us dead. I wonder if we can use a different token other than the reason that's coined because it has an anchor. So it's just horn. Is that, I don't know. Let's find out. And start again. Get the lead rod. Get the lead out, lol. Okay, horn coin in the bound. Gestalt shelf has the granite. Invoke simple. Invite, we can do that too, but first we're going to invoke it. There's that beige again. Wave the rosemary. Air is sharpening. Speak essential. You intone the word of essential nature, but the pronunciation is off. Probably the symbolism of the horn coin complicates its material nature. Well, dang. We are getting stymied. It's the right direction. What did it say about the lead? Scrolling up a bit here. The lead rod has too complex a material nature to evoke in this way. So, whoa. Did I take the moon metal earlier? Like I just wanted, like maybe, I'll try one more thing and then I'll peek at a hint maybe. Or ask Zarf for another hint maybe. Because I like the earth and the moon. That's a nice simple pairing. Let's get the rod. All right, can I up arrow my way back through this? Thanks. What we're doing, simple, rosemary, essential. Blah, blah, blah. Blee, blee, blee. Oh, I forgot the rosemary. Oops. Shoot. Well, anyway, I don't think it's going to work because I got the same failure message as the moon metal rod is too complex a material nature to evoke it this way. Let's try one more thing. do it correctly. Okay. Reset. It's already in the bound, so invoke simple, wave rosemary, and speak essential, and get the same error message. I shouldn't say error message. I should say feedback. Well, dang. So my thought, in case it wasn't obvious, was that we reverse the roles of the environment and the focus. So I put the common, in this case, I put the common bit of stone on the shelf, and I put something Saturnine in the bound, and in this case, something lunar in the bound. But it just didn't work, and it busted out even before I could get to the Gaian precipitate. The essential nature just crapped out right there. So that seems to be, I feel like I'm on the right track, just the wrong tread, if you will. So the key is Earth to Saturn, low to high. So anchoring it to the Earth sounds correct. Or, excuse me, putting the environment earthy seems good. And the Earth is any common bit of stone, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if... I really would have expected the lead rod to work, because that is Saturnine. All right. Zarf, do you have any other comments, or shall I turn to Dan?
Well, I mean, it's almost time. You might want to let it stew.
I could let it stew
a few days and then think about it again next week.
You know what? I'm going to take your advice. Yeah, you know what? We are within a 5-minute window, so I'm going to call it here. That's good advice. You know, that is
You wouldn't have time to do it anyway, right?
It's the I'd have to speed read through it. That is the universal advice for almost all single player challenges, because I will fill up the rest of my time talking about this. I am currently enjoying, as my friends are already, and my Twitter followers are sick of hearing about by now, a completely unrelated, but similarly difficult, if calling upon a different skill set, video game called Hollow Knight, which I think came out right around the same time as this game. I was just thinking. And it has difficult combat in it and boss fights, but they become easier if you figure out like sort of the correct approach to use. And if you don't, you just get pasted with it, and it's very stressful. And I have found multiple times with that game that if I lose to an enemy again and again, the solution is I put the game down and I do other stuff for like a few days of real time. And then I come back to it and I win immediately because I'm just processing the solution in the background. So perhaps that is the best solution here. It's just to literally sleep on this, give everybody a rest. We made progress. We made a bunch of cool stuff. So I will play this game for another couple of hours in 2 weeks. 1 week. That's half the time. That would be February 6th, Sunday, February 6th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Lately, I've been playing other interactive fiction games that are not this one, if you can believe it. And you can hear me play those, and you can follow me on Twitter at jmac.org, and that's all there is to say. Zarf, any parting words from you?
Nope.
Okay, well,
thanks for letting me hang around.
Thanks for joining me. It was a fun time, and thank you everybody for your patience as I continue to mess around with streaming. And I'm going to hit the end broadcast button now, because if there's anything I know how to do, it's that.